So our topic today is about Mongolia. And what do you know about Mongolia? Let's see what everybody knows about Mongolia. Kartik, what do you know about Mongolia? Sorry, I muted you by mistake.
If
Go
I'm
ahead.
not wrong, we went through a text before during one of the English class.
Yeah. So you had a text about Mongolia, but what do you remember about the country? Is it like Singapore? Is it like China? What's different?
No, we had a text about Mongolia where there was like about I think horses. Then there was Genghis Khan and everyone. Then they rode some of the horses. I forgot the name, but yeah, we did a text like that. Then we found out that Mongolia had more horses than the human population over there. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
almost everyone had a horse, and
Mm,
sometimes even more than one or two.
right. So it means they're very precious, obviously, to Mongolians. They love their horses like we love our cars. Mongolians are very, very proud of their horses. And this tradition actually you see across Central Asia, Mongolia, Kazakhstan, this area are famous for horse riding. Horse riding. So even in China, some parts of China, they also prize horses and they're famous. Another place in the world which loves horses is the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, that part of the world. They love their horses, but the horses um, are from all over the world. And in the UK, we also are crazy about horses. So I think we mentioned that horse meat is something that is a no-no. In Kazakhstan and Mongolia, they eat horses. But in the UK, we've got sentiments about such things. And we say it's shocking to eat horses. Okay, there's a kind of hypocrisy there because we don't mind eating chickens and pigs and cows and all that, but we're shocked if people eat horses. So
Not only that, I found out that the name of the horse was the breed is Taki. So that's the one that they rode to like wars and stuff because it's very strong and fast.
thanks for finding the name. I couldn't remember the name. Thanks, Kartik. So the Mongolian horse um, that they're most fond of is it's a particular breed, and they're really very uh, magnificent horses, absolutely magnificent. So, like he says, they're really proud of their horses. And from these pictures, you can actually get an idea of what Mongolia looks like. It's pretty barren. It's of course we've got some grass for the horses to eat, otherwise they couldn't survive. But in the winter, winters are harsh, and it must be hard for the horses. They have to be indoors eating dry grass in the winter. But almost everybody of your age in Mongolia knows how to ride a horse. So that would be an exciting life. And I met one guy from Singapore who actually emigrated to Mongolia because he liked the people so much. He said he experienced racism in Singapore, but in Mongolia, people loved him. And he became a famous singer in Mongolia. So it's an interesting story. Okay, so it may not be exactly your idea of a beautiful country, but you have to admit it's quite stunning in terms of its big landscapes. Um, and you will also see the Mongolian house, the traditional Mongolian house looks like this. It's a round house. I think you'd probably all like to experience this once. You can go and stay in these. These are obviously luxury examples, but the original yurt is quite basic. It's pronounced yurt, yurt, um, and it usually has a little stove inside, like this, but obviously not fancy beds like this. This is for tourists, so that's also a tourist village, um, and this is how they build them. They can build them fast. They can move them around, so they can be nomadic, and they can move quickly if there's a storm. So that's the traditional house. Okay, so you're right that we have a text about Mongolia today. Let's take a look at the text. Okay, so today we're covering non-narrative comprehension, meaning non-fiction, not to do with storytelling, but about a piece of text which is usually factual. And then we have current affairs after that. So I hope you'll enjoy both of these. Looking at the text type and structure, usually you're not asked a big question like that, what sort of text is this? But it's good to be able to recognize at a glance what kind of text you're looking at straight away. What are the features of the text? So noticing the type of text you're reading, the kind of structure such texts have, because quite different from storytelling. Non-fiction pieces have different vocabulary, different sentence types, and all sorts. So, for example, a text structure like a recipe is directly obvious. And being able to write a recipe, we know you've got to put ingredients, etc., first. And then we expect to see the method, how to put the thing together. We also expect to see information like if it's cooked in the oven, what kind of temperature you need to cook it at, and so on. So this is the information, and we know, oh yeah, this text structure, I can recognize what type of text it is. Okay, so here we are. We're starting in China. Later we'll go to Mongolia. And Birkin, would you like to read this for us, please?
Zheng He was born as Ma He in a landlocked area of China in 1371. At the time, the Ming armies were gradually taking back control of China from the barbarians, and when Ma He was 11 years old, the Ming warriors swept through town. A general noticed the boy and decided to take him back to Nanjing to be a page boy to the young Prince Zhu Di.
Thank you, Birkin. Zheng He is known in Singapore by what other name? Birkin?
I don't know.
Does anybody know? You can write in the chat. So when we refer to him in English, we often don't say Zheng He. Anybody know another name for? He's more famously known by this name. It's the same word, but spelt differently. No? People haven't been to Malacca here? Okay, so he's famous in Malacca because he went to Malacca and he traded there. So his name is spelt Cheng Ho. Cheng Ho. Okay, here comes Wesley. Cheng Ho. So there's a Cheng Ho Museum in Malacca. Well worth a visit, guys. It's all sorts of interesting things in there. It's not just about Cheng Ho. It's a lot to do with Chinese culture. It's a lot to do with Malacca culture, Malacca history. It's a really interesting place, and all sorts of artifacts that people have put in there. So it's not a standard museum. It's kind of an oddball kind of museum. I went with a few different people, and they all thought it was pretty interesting and crazy different things in there. Okay, thank you. Okay, so we'll go to the story a bit later. Let's read the text first. Thank you. Jingxuan, could you read this part, please? Oh, Wesley, okay, right, thank you. I gathered. I thought that might be the case. Thanks for letting me know. Oh, okay, Jingxuan. Yeah, all right. I'll pass on you. And could you read this for us, please? And Lark, can you unmute, please? Go ahead. We can't hear you. Can you check your mic? No, try again, try again. We can't hear a word. No? Are you talking? We can't hear you. Okay, can you check your settings or check if you're using an external headset or whatever? Can you check? Are you adjusting? Because we still can't hear you. Yeah, we can't hear you. Okay, so you go and check your settings. I'll come back to you later on that. You tried to change it. Okay, just can you work on that a bit? I'll come back to you later. Chloe, could you read this for us, please?
Like the entire paragraph? Or like,
Yeah.
Okay. At this point, Maha had his lucky break twice. First, he and the young prince became good friends. Second, Judy became emperor in a coup over an absent predecessor. So suddenly, Maha was the favorite of the emperor, who installed him as the head eunuch. Eh? Is it eunuch or what?
It is. It is eunuch. You're right. You're
Okay.
absolutely right.
Okay. And
Go ahead, Chloe.
awarded him the honor of the surname Zheng. When in 1405, the young emperor sketched out some plans to send a fleet out in search of the deposed emperor, who was thought to have gone into hiding somewhere in Southeast Asia. It seemed only natural that he should name his friend to lead the fleet. Admiral Zheng may have had some good fortune getting to this position, but he soon showed that it had not been all due to luck. Everyone could see that he was a leader of considerable ability who would soon show the world the glory of the new Ming dynasty.
Thank you very much for reading, Chloe. That was really well read. And thanks for checking the word eunuch, which you read correctly. So it's pronounced eunuch. This word coup, we don't actually pronounce the P. So it's coup. Yeah. It's from French. So there are some other words, for example, corps, when it's spelled COPS. We also don't pronounce these letters. We just say corps. And so this is coup. There are a lot of French words like that. Another word, valet. We don't say valet. We say valet without the T. So no T. No, that's okay. At least it's working, and luck. I assume that was you. So I'm really glad that you got through.
Hello, can I be heard now?
I'll just give me a second. We're going to the next page. And luck, I'm really glad you fixed it. Well done. Okay, thank you. Let me move to the next page. Go ahead, and luck.
Okay, my face is against the screen. Never mind. What must it have been like for Zhang as he set out? The planning was complete, the ships ready, but he never sailed out of sight of land before, so far as we know. The journey, any journey, could be highly dangerous. For starters, the Chinese in those days, like their Western counterparts, believed the earth was flat. If you sailed too far, no one was quite sure how far your ship will be caught in a whirlpool and fall off the edge of the world. A storm could easily throw the unwary into the whirlpool. Ships had, after all, been lost in storms caused by huge green-blue dragons. Although Zheng was a Muslim, he took no chances and offered elaborate sacrifices to Tianfei, the celestial consort